Growing concerns for Australian television journalist Chung Lee detained in China. Minister for Tourism and Trade Simon Birmingham joins us now from Canberra. Simon, thank you for your time today. She's not been charged, but she could still be held for up to 6 months. What steps are being taken to help?
Good morning, Karl. Well, we are obviously engaging where we can with Ms Chung Lee. She was detained, we were advised, on the 14th of August by Chinese authorities through our embassy. They had consular access via video link on the 27th of August with her. Her family has issued a statement, as you would have seen, in which they acknowledge the process and ask people to respect the privacy and refrain from comment. And we will continue, though, to work as best we can in providing her and her family with assistance through what is no doubt a stressful and difficult time for them.
Do you know what's behind it?
No, Karl, but we'll continue to work in relation to ensuring that the right assistance is provided to give her and her family every support.
OK, of course this comes against the backdrop of growing tensions between Australia and China. The communist state now investigating Aussie winemakers over what it calls unfair trading practices. I mean, some call this, Simon, coercive diplomacy. What would you call it?
Well, Karl, we see today there's a report released by the Australian Strategic Policy Institute which identifies that many countries around the world are facing some of these types of challenges and issues in relation to their engagement with China. Australia is not alone in that regard. I've been very concerned at the number of different trade issues that have come our way this year. That, I think, changes the risk profile for Australian businesses in engaging with China. And I'm very concerned that many of them lack what I think is substance in terms of the claims that are made, and that's why we're working so hard to defend our wine industry, indeed all of our exporters who engage very much on commercial terms in the way in which they operate in China or in any other nation.
Simon, lay it on the line. I mean, how would you describe the state of the union then? Because it looks like they're using trade sanctions to affect policy change. It smells like it. It has to be, doesn't it?
I'll make 2 points there. One is that trade volumes remain very, very significant and far higher than they were in previous years. The other point I'd make is that our government has been very clear that our values are not for sale. We will always defend our interests and Australia's security interests in particular, but that we wish to retain a constructive relationship with China. We have different systems of government. We bring different approaches to those systems of government, but we respect their sovereignty and we simply ask for that to be reciprocated, and we will engage as constructively as we can as bilateral partners and regional partners from there, as we've managed to do over the years, notwithstanding the fact that difficulties in the relationship have always been evident, be they human rights discussions, be they previous consular cases over many, many years. We wish to continue to work through those difficulties, and it's why dialogue would be very important and very helpful.
Well, dialogue would be good, wouldn't it? I mean, a few months ago when our relationship hit the skids, you had trouble getting your Chinese counterpart to pick up the phone. Have you managed to talk to him yet?
No, Karl, and that's why I make that point, that at government-to-government levels, we are open to have mature discussions to work through difficult issues at the ministerial level. Now, of course, our diplomatic officials, the engagement there is extensive and ongoing, but it is important those government discussions happen. That's what mature nations should do, to work through points of difficulty, and the Australian government under Scott Morrison stands very, very ready to have those discussions.
It's very difficult, a relationship, when one of the partners isn't talking.
It doesn't make it easy to resolve those sorts of challenging or complex issues, and that's why I emphasise and do so publicly again and again. Our government is happy to have conversations, even if they are difficult ones, even though we may not agree, will not agree on everything, but it is the best way for us to be able to move issues along and make sure that we can concentrate on the areas where we have complementary economic avenues of engagement, where we can work together as regional partners. We've been able to do all of these things in the past, and we stand certainly ready from an Australian perspective to do that into the future. You're just hoping,
standing by your phone, aren't you, waiting for that call?
Well, I'm not quite doing that, Karl, but I am simply reiterating the position of the Australian government. In the meantime, we're getting on very hard, both with working through the China issues, but also opening up trade opportunities through our new FTA with Indonesia, through our economic engagement strategy with India, through trade negotiations with the European Union. We want to make sure we give our businesses the maximum choice as to where they go, who they do business with.
They will need it.